So the breaking news over the weekend is that Sia, the pop star, is directing and making a film about autism, which is fine on the face of it, no problem, with the apparent intention of spreading awareness. Again, fine, no problem. But it's facing massive backlash from the autistic community, and quite rightly so, and I want to dig a bit deeper into that. Because there are some huge problems with it beyond the surface. The bulk of the backlash springs from the fact that Sia has not only hired a neurotypical actor to play the main autistic character, but she's also apparently taught this actor how to act autistic. And this is from Sia apparently doing 3 years worth of research, which is obviously not enough because no amount of research, no amount of interacting with the autistic community can help you pretend to be autistic without portraying some tired, horrible stereotypes. Sia claims that she did employ 13 neurodivergent people to be characters in the film, which fair dues, but when the film is about autism, why would you just give minor roles to the autistic people that you do employ and give the role of the main character to somebody who's quite frankly one of your best mates? I hope I'm pronouncing her name right, but this is Maddie Ziegler that was chosen to play the autistic character. Maddie being one of Sia's best friends by the looks of it, and also somebody who's constantly featured as one of the main dancers in Sia's music videos. Sia claims that she tried to use an autistic person as the lead character in the film, but apparently it was too overwhelming for them and too stressful, so she gave up and then she went for Maddie. This is just... it's not good. The number of autistic actors that are out there is no excuse to just try one and then give up immediately and try one of your best friends. And if Sia really cared about autistics and stood for the message of inclusivity and autism awareness and everything that she claims to be about, then she would have stuck with the actress, she would have persevered, she would have accommodated for her. It's not as if she hasn't got the power or the money to put these accommodations in place. She's a well-known pop star, she's quite clearly got the capability to do that. Unemployment rates among autistic people is ridiculously low as it is. Never mind an autistic actor not getting the part because Sia couldn't be bothered to accommodate for her. I've seen at least a few autistic actors speak out on social media about it, and the response from Sia from any sort of criticism just seems to be overly defensive and abusive. She responded to one autistic actor on Twitter who spoke out against it by saying, "Maybe you're just a bad actor." That's not the point, Sia. I mean, admittedly, not every actor is suitable for every role. That's fine, that's fair enough. But you need to at least give autistics a chance. You need to find an autistic actor who is capable of portraying your character on the screen. You need to bear with them. You need to give them a reasonable chance. You need to give them the accommodations they need. And you need to not just give it a half-assed attempt and go, "Oh, well, I tried." Which, to be honest, seems to be the gist of Sia's responses online. If you're not going to hire autistic actors, then how are you going to get realistic representation and fair representation of an already underrepresented community? And the thing is, she says she's trying to spread autism awareness, trying to help us all and be inclusive and everything like that. But when the community that you're apparently trying to help is the one that's angriest, then there's quite clearly something wrong. And if you want face up to the issues, and if you won't accept that these people are speaking out for a reason, then you've got no business making this film in the first place, and you've got no business involving yourself with that community. One of the worst things about this whole thing is that Autism Speaks is involved, which doesn't actually surprise me at all. Sia reckons she did 3 years worth of research into autism and the autistic community. But 3 years is more than enough time to realise that Autism Speaks is a hate group and does nothing for autistics, always against autistics. You'd have just thought in the 3 years that she spent studying it, some shred of evidence would have appeared somewhere along the line that rang some alarm bells for her. But apparently not, so it just smacks of ignorance, if I'm honest. And I think the most dangerous thing about the whole fiasco is the fact that Sia is a famous pop star. She's got a massive following and she's presenting this unfair, unresearched, half-assed attempt to the world where a hell of a lot of people are going to see it and think that's what autism is. Not only that, but when celebrities with a massive following get involved in Autism Speaks or anything like that, and then autistic people inevitably speak up against it, then their fans ignorantly just jump on the bandwagon and attack innocent autistics that are just trying to be honest, trying to speak up for their own community, and trying to educate people for what the actual situation is. Sia's attitude as a whole just seems to have been disgusting throughout this whole thing. I'm going to read you some tweets that she's sent in response to some of the criticism she's had, and honestly her responses are just appalling. The first one, as I mentioned earlier, was, "Maybe you're just a bad actor." No, Sia, you need to give us a chance, and a fair chance at that, to be able to represent ourselves in any media, on screen, in music, or anything like that that you do. Otherwise, you're undermining us as a community, and you are erasing autistic voices. I hire plenty of special abilities kids. I'm willing to be misunderstood because I think this movie does more good than harm. First of all, if you did as much research as you're saying, and if you knew anything about the autistic community or the disabled community as a whole, you would know that words like special abilities are not our preferred ways of describing ourselves. It's always preferable to refer to something as it is. So if it's an autistic person, they're autistic. If it's somebody that's disabled, they're disabled. They're not special abilities, they're not differently abled or anything like that. You just say it as it is. Second of all, she says in that comment that they're all kids, which, why not hire any adults? That just erases the autistic adult's experience and the autistic adult's perspective. It just perpetuates the stereotype that autism only affects kids, which is absolute rubbish. I'll just read you one more of her replies because the rest are full of swearing and just don't bear repeating. "I did try, it felt more compassionate to use Maddie, that was my call." It's not compassionate to barely give the community a chance that you're supposedly trying to represent. There's hundreds of actors out there, autistic actors, who would have done the role brilliantly. You just need to look for them. And just to give an example, Anthony Hopkins. The man is so good at acting that he wasn't diagnosed autistic until he was in his 70s. And in that time, as an undiagnosed autistic actor, he achieved iconic status. So that goes to show that we are out there and we are good, we are capable. I say we, I'm not an actor personally, but you know what I mean. There's people out there who are autistic that can represent you properly in the film and that can do everything that you want us to do in the role. I think that's just about covered all the points I wanted to make. So if you want to let us know your thoughts and your feelings on the whole thing, then feel free to do so in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to stay up to date with my weekly releases, and I will see you next time.